Very good afternoon, sir. Abhishek, am I audible?
How are you? Sorry, my apologies. I got late.
Good afternoon.
No issues. Thanks for joining. What?
Yes, we can start now. And the good part is I am not leaving now at 3:20 because I am starting at 3:20. So I am there with you till the conclusion of this webinar.
Thank you, sir. And thanks for consenting to organize this ULIP webinar, which is very important. In fact, welcome all the participants, the members of FFAI, Federation of Freight Forwarders Association. And thanks, Mr. Abhishek ji, for giving us this opportunity to discuss and come on the webinar to have the clarity. And furthermore, it has always been a pleasure to have interaction session with you during the Bombay also, during the convention of FFAI in Chennai also. And now we look forward for further progress on the achievements as to what is the progress of the ULIP also. And this is a government initiative in enhancing the logistics performance with ease of doing business, actively participating in the logistics performance index, improvisation, which we have experienced, the result rising to the 30th rank, which is really a good news. Congratulations, you are the part and parcel of the whole system in achieving this rank. Performing at every stage in domestic and international logistics to put in order to have this unorganized sector to get it organized in a professional way. We need to have a collaborative approach, which is a need of an hour. So this ULIP has emerged, giving the special focus on logistics development. And we have experienced this in last few years, and many more measures in terms of hard and soft infrastructure have been taken to improve this logistics scenario in India. So with this integrated approach, I think so we have a lot to achieve, and the Indian logistics value chain, which was necessary with a common platform, with unified and unique system by interconnection of all the IT systems across the ministries, state departments, governing bodies, and the private stakeholders, which I think so you have been able to achieve. There are a lot many who have come, there are a lot many yet to come, and I think so the integration of APIs are still on the way, and more days we find more and more participation. That is the winning side of ULIP initiatives. There was a need for stakeholders to receive such logistics related services, visibility and authorization, and the transparency and seamless movement of cargo. We have always been working in the isolations, and getting it together was one of the things which we are always looking forward. Thanks for all your initiatives, and now we look forward for your developments, what has been on the ULIP platform. With this, I request our chairman to please provide the introduction to take it forward. Thanks a lot for being with us, sir.
Thank you, Shankar bhai. A warm welcome to all, and our chief guest today, key speaker, Mr. Abhishek Chaudhary ji. Abhishek ji, thank you very much for this particular wonderful opportunity for FFAI members. ULIP is way forward, and you are taking, it is very heartening to note that you are taking country ahead with your initiatives. Friends, Shri Abhishek Chaudhary ji is a Vice President Corporate Affairs with NICDC. He is a fellow member of Institute of Company Secretaries and a gold medalist in law. He has over 20 years of experience with over 12 years in the present job. He has contributed in developing PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan, which is a dream project of our Honorable PM to integrate ministries and roll out the projects in timely manner. And Abhishek Chaudhary ji has provided multimodal connectivity to the economic zones and has also played significant role in bringing technology-based disruption through digital platform ULIP. This was launched by Honorable Prime Minister. He is responsible for converting Delhi-Mumbai International Corridor into National Industrial Corridor, and this has grown from 1 corridor to 11 corridors in the country now. It is from 7. It is encompassing 7 cities. It has gone from 7 to 32 cities, from 6 states to 18 states. He has taken industrial corridor program to the national level. He has wide experience in the field of strategic planning and management and legal matters, project financing, public-private partnership projects, corporate governance. And this exposure is helping our nation to take a few digital strides ahead in implementing projects. Thank you, Abhishek Chaudhary. Won't take much of time. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you.
So thank you, Mr. Mulani. Thank you, Mr. Shinde. It's an honor and a privilege always to interact with the members of Triple FAI. And I definitely make sure that I should be personally present to give you all the update about ULIP. I'll start with the same quote which I keep on giving in all the conferences and interactions with the members of Triple FAI, that the success and the failure of ULIP is 100% dependent on the trade and on the users who are going to use it. And today I will be sharing some light on the key projects and key progress which we have made since the launch of ULIP by the Honorable Prime Minister in September 2022. But before I do that, I want to congratulate all of you for 2 things. One is that PM Gati Shakti program has been conferred with the gold medal and the first prize under the PM Awards on the Civil Services Day on 21st of this month as one of the biggest digital disruption which has taken place. And secondly, to all the members of Triple FAI, we have jumped very heavily in the logistic performance index as a country, and we stood ranked number 38 this time. And one of the major reasons which World Bank has stated as part of its report and why this has been done is a contribution made by the logistics data bank project in the increasing the overall visibility of the container movement in the country. And all of you are responsible for contributing in this regard and giving us an overwhelming response and feedback as always. So with this, I'll just start my presentation, giving you an overview about LDB and the ULIP project. Most of you must have heard the brief about it, but I will try to be as precise as possible so that we have much more time left for question and answers. So this I have already covered. India's LPI ranking has improved to 38th position in 2023 as per the World Bank. And this is a quote from the World Bank report that the increasing visibility about the container movement in and across the country and calculation of the dwell time and other analytics which we do in and around the LDB project, that is one of the most contributing factor for the jump in our LPI ranking. Next, please. So as you are aware that as LDB project, we are doing the tracking and tracing of the movement of the EXIM container, whether it is moving by the roads and by the rail. For the information of all the members who are not aware of LDB project, we do this tracking on the basis of installing the passive RFID tag onto every container the moment it exits out of the port boundary, whether it is done by road or by rail. We tag every single container moving out of the port boundary, and we have our RFID readers installed at different places, right from the toll plazas to CFSs to ICDs to MTRs to parking plazas, whereby we are able to provide the visibility service throughout the end-to-end journey of any EXIM container. But when we were doing LDB, we were only confined to the EXIM logistics. We were only confined to the EXIM containers. But as per the recent mandate of the government, we are now also tracking the movement of domestic containers. We are also tracking the movement of the coastal shipping. And this we do not only for the export journey, but also for the import journey. Next, please. So in terms of our overall coverage, as of now, we cover 27 terminals of 17 ports, which handles EXIM traffic, 91 toll plazas, 358 CFS, ICD, MTRs, parking plazas, 37 special economic zones, 3 border checkposts of Nepal and Bangladesh, 5,400 rail routes. Our systems are already integrated with the voice system of railway, port community system, NLP Marine, and all the terminal operating system of both major and the minor ports. Close to 2,700 RFID readers has been installed. And let me tell you, I was just doing a board meeting of this company in the morning today. In the last 1 year, you will be surprised to know that we have installed more than 1,000 readers. As on 31st March 2022, we had an inventory of 1,700 readers. In last 1 year, we have installed close to 1,000 more readers so as to increase our visibility. We were standing at around 200 CFS ICT MTR parking plaza as on 31st March 22. We have increased it by more than 50% in this year, in this financial year, and we will definitely take forward this growth story in the years to come. Close to 58 million containers has been handled so far since the beginning in 2016. Next, please. CFS and ICT coverage we are increasing on a pan-India basis. At present, we have around 130 CFSs. We have a RFID coverage on all CFSs in the country. Out of 77 ICDs, we are having a RFID reader coverage at 45, though we are getting the daily inventory data from all the ICDs at a 24-hourly interval from all the 77 ICDs of the country. This balance gap of 77 and 45, which is 32, I am promising that by 31st March 2024, before the end of the next financial year, we will cover all of them. So it will be 100% of CFS and 100% of ICD. Next, please. Empty yards was another pain point area because we were not getting information with regard to the availability of empty containers in a particular geography. So we created our teams and started negotiating directly with the empty yards because the shipping lines was not cooperating to share their ERP system or to share an API from the inventory booking system. So at present, we have installed our readers at 176 empty yards, and we intend that this 80% of the containers which is being handled in these 176 empty yards, we should increase the coverage in this current financial year of 23-24 to at least 95%. So we want to cover all empty yards in the country, handling close to 95% of the container traffic. Next. What we do is this rich data, because this data is not a sample data, it's 100% data of the trade. We get data from basically 4-5 sources, which is the terminal operating system, CFS and ICT, which share the data on a 24-hourly intervals about the inventory which they are having. Toll plazas, forests, PCS. We use all this data under the analytics and undertake the analytics with regard to the dwell time, congestion analysis, toll to toll plaza analysis, transit time, heat map analysis, and publish monthly, quarterly, annual reports. The objective is to promote healthy competition in the trade by way of adopting more and more technology-based disruptions. The objective is to name and shame players across the trade for the purpose of promoting them to compete in the market, not only to set new benchmarks, but also to match the international ones. So that is the whole objective. We rate the ports, we rate the CFSs, we rate the ICDs on a monthly basis in terms of their performance. And I'm very happy to share that even ports like JNPT, Mundra, etc., as part of their business strategy, as part of getting more and more business from the market, they claim LDB analytics report as one of the source point for claiming their performance. Next, please. In terms of value addition, importers and exporters were dependent on multiple stakeholders like truckers and CHA, etc. But from LTV, just by entering 11-digit container number onto a portal or onto an app, you are able to access the entire journey of and who is taking how much time. Everything is time stamped and date stamped. Everything was working in silos in the earlier. It's an integrated portal and everything is available at just entering 11-digit container number and clicking the search option. Not only this, I would like to add, we are not providing even the container visibility within the country, but our systems are also integrated with the Nevis system. So till the port of first call, also the track and trace service is available. The database was not available for taking an informed decision. Now there's a huge set of data of around 58 million containers, which is available, which is being used by the government also for doing policy making. There was no performance benchmarking, and it was being done and it was presented in a manner the trade wanted. But now there is a technology-driven based performance benchmarking of the entire operations which is happening. Next, please. Key milestones, around 100%, as I said in the beginning, we can't afford to lose even a single container moving out of the port without our RFID tag. There are around 30 lakh container searches which is happening on the LDB portal every month. On an average, you people are very well aware that as a country, we handle close to 10 lakh containers in a month, which means that every container is being surged onto the LDB portal at least thrice. It's a technology-driven benchmarking tool. We are also moving to empty and maintenance yards so as to make a match between the demand and supply of the empty containers. Supporting the government initiatives for promoting container manufacturing in the country. And I have been personally nominated by PMO to be a member of the committee, which is driving the container manufacturing business in the country. Extending services, the visibility to domestic and coastal, moving out of the EXIM part of it, and domestic coastal we have started. Domestic, I think at 8 ports, we have already started the collecting data about the domestic containers. The balance is in the process. In next 3 to 4 months time frame, I think we will provide data with regard to 100% domestic containers. Next, please. Graduating further, government has given us the responsibility to develop unified logistics interface platform. And it was one of the technology commons which Honorable PM wanted, how India should look like in a post-COVID scenario by using technology to its advantage. So there were different technology commons in the field of workers, in the field of telemedicine, in the field of agriculture sector, in field of increasing the productivity, in field of financial inclusion, etc. And in the field of logistics, it was termed as ULIP, Unified Logistics Interface Platform. Next, please. So what we have done is we have divided it into 2 phases. The phase 1 of ULIP, as my friend has just mentioned, Mr. Shinde, has already been done. It's implemented. It's running very well. I'll update you in future slides. It's completed. The phase 2 of the ULIP has just started, whereby we are also trying to look at reducing the compliance burden and the documentation burden of the trade by having the unified systems and making it more into a transactional platform. Next, please. The ULIP architecture, as you are all aware, on the top you can see the different systems which are available, which are dealing with the logistics sector in the country, either directly or indirectly. We have FOI system of railway, PCS, NLP Marine, TOS, and IWI system of shipping. 3 systems in Ministry of Civil Aviation, then DigiLocker of MeitY for eKYC, then GST and e-Bill. MORT, we have Vahan Sarthi FASTag. Customs, we have IceGate, Partner Government Agency, Express Cargo Clearance Services. Then Commerce, we have DGFT, Importer, Exporter, Port, ONDC, PM Gati Shakti, and our own LDB project. So we have created a virtual gateway in the name of ULIP, which will take data from all the above mentioned systems and will provide this data to different agencies like government agencies, startup, ports, CHS, freight forwarders, transporters, 3PL, 4PL players. And this data can be used for the purpose of authentication, track and trace, automation, provide digitization, etc., etc. Next, please. ULIP in terms of architecture has been divided into 3 broad layers. As government, we have developed the integration and the governance layer because it's very important for somebody to take the ownership and the risk to integrate different systems with the governance and add all the logistical systems which are working in the country. On the presentation layer, we are inviting private sector and make more and more applications, more and more presentation layers. So it's very easy to understand from a perspective of the digital payment system how it was unfolded in the country, that government has created the UPI, and on the top of it, a lot of payment apps like Paytm, Bharat Pay, Airtel Pay, Google Pay, etc. is coming. And depending on what user wants, they can opt for downloading any app and start using that app. Similarly, but the baseline remains the UPI. Similarly, in the logistics space, we can say we have created the UPI of the logistic trade in the form of ULIP, whereby the governance integration layer will continue to be owned or operated by the government. However, the presentation layer, we will invite a lot of private sector players to leverage this integration and develop more and more use cases for the benefit of the trade. Next, please. In terms of the status, all the green boxes are done. This integration is complete. The ones in the gray are in the process. Hopefully, in next 3 to 6 months time frame, we shall be able to make them green as well. We are working very hard. First of all, based on my earlier interactions with the members of Triple FAI, the most critical one is e-Rebel, and I can only inform you that this integration is now moving in a very, very positive way, and hopefully in next 3 to 6 months time frame, we shall be in a position to at least give you an access to the e-Rebel data as well. Next, please. What does it entail in terms of integration? It's very simple to say, but very difficult to implement. It entails integration of 33 different systems of 7 ministries, covering close to 1600 plus fields by way of developing 106 APIs. So this is the quantum of work which has taken place in last 1.5 years to develop ULIP and to make it usable by the community and the trade at large. Next, please. As of now, the status update since the launch on 17 September 2022, 490 companies have onboarded the ULIP platform. It's a very simple process of going to goulip.in, whereby you have to register with your company credentials, and thereafter you can start accessing and getting to know about what all APIs are available. Then you need to submit your use case. Our teams will verify and get back to you, and then we can share the test APIs. Post that, you can get into the production APIs. Around 103 companies have submitted 294 use cases. All these 294 use cases which we have received has been verified, and I'm very happy to share that around 27 apps have already been developed by the private sector players, which are working in one way or the other. 76 companies have signed non-disclosure agreement, and hopefully by the end of May, we will cross a mark of 100 number, because balance 24 are at a very advanced stage of negotiations. 7 crore API hits has been processed on the ULIP platform as I speak. 60 associations of the trade like FAI, Triple FAI, CSLA, MDOI, etc. has been consulted, and we will keep on consulting these associations time and again, not only to get the feedback, but also to see are we going right or not, or is there any requirement of any mid-course correction which we can learn from. 7 events we have organized. We wish to organize more and more events where your support and cooperation will be solicited. And we recently won an award for ULIP in the Geospatial Award for the logistics. 5 in-house apps like Track Your Transport, Know Your Transporter, LDB 2.0, Empty Carrier Discovery, Empty Container Discovery has been developed in-house for the demonstration purposes. We are also at a very advanced stage of discussions whereby we are commercializing the ULIP, and we will be sharing this ULIP data now on a commercial basis very shortly. Internal approvals, etc., has all taken place. Now we are discussing it with the 9 ministries from where the data has been sourced, so as to start charging a very nominal amount to make ULIP self-sustainable. But don't worry, the amount of money which we will be charging will be very minuscule, and let me assure you, it will be less than the annual subscription cost of any OTT platform which you pay. Next. These are the companies which are already onboarded, right from the logistics service provider, the industry giants. Recently, we closed it with Ultratech Cement, JSW, Adani Ports and Logistics, Tata Steel. Reliance is also very advanced, and hopefully in the next presentation, I'll be include the name of Reliance Industries. These manufacturing companies are now integrating their logistics system directly with the ULIP. Earlier, our focus was to target startups in the 3PL, 4PL players, but now the manufacturing companies are coming forward and showing active interest in integrating their logistic solutions with ULIP directly. And that is how the second row which you see is coming up day by day. Next, please. So in terms of data governance, it's a request response based system. We are not storing the dump data of any system like Mahan, Sarthi, etc. We are only storing the transactional data. And this has been prepared on the node guidelines of the METI. Data has been shared through a secured system. No personalized information or personal identified information is being shared with anyone. And there is a secured method for which we conduct regular audits. STQC audit is being done. Then we have a CERT audit, etc. So the data is 100% secure as far as the credibility as well as the authenticity is concerned. With this, I'll just end my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions, queries which you may have, or invite any suggestion, comments which can make our services more better. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful presentation. And we look forward for this regular interaction. There's a lot of progress we could see out of this initiatives which is taken under the ULIP. Our industry has majorly two concerns where we would like to also accommodate, since you have everything data and everything is on GPS based or live. So, like the container movements are happening in the port. There is a way where you register the vehicles after arrival if it is gated into the ports, or there is somewhere like containers are arrived at the empty container yard and 12 hours, 24 hours, but there is no such registration. Now you are GPS enabled or track and trace based. So we should be able to provide such system where as soon as you arrive at the port or arrive at the empty yard, there should be a registration process. Okay, I have arrived. Now, after that, then it becomes the accountability of the yard performance where they provide that if there is a delay. Because what happens, sir, if I cross that time limit of 12 midnight, immediately the next day detention charges starts. So if this can be integrated in the system, so it will help us out to prove that timeline, because by their interest, vested interest of recovering the ground rent charges or the container detention charges, they will never give the endorsement of arrival time. So if it can be a system driven, it will really help the trade in the long way, sir. And it will be of interesting for the trade to come on the platform aggressively, sir. This is one of the submission for the points if it can be taken into consideration. Thank you, sir. Yeah,
I
Ramaji,
think
you would like to
definitely,
answer.
Mr. Shinde, this can be done because the limited problem statement which I understand is the moment container enters into the yard or the parking plaza, you want a time stamp of that particular time, right?
No, sir. Sir, that is anyway coming because it is then registered by the MTR. The arrival in the queue. So because of their non-efficiency, there is a queue which leads to even 3 hours, 4 hours, or even 1 day in the road, where there is no way we can register at the empty container at the days we have arrived and we are waiting
But
for
who is going to give you that time stamp that you are number so and so in the queue? Will that be given by the ports?
No, that like see, you have empty yard containers registered. We will say the container number, you have a track and trace. I have arrived at the yard in the queue. So even if that gets me acknowledgement, it will be on the empty yard container where the non-performance can be proved that it is because of you I have crossed the 12 midnight time, which has led me to pay additional charges and not because of my non-performance.
No, I'm not still understanding the point which you are trying to make.
I'll make it easy.
This acknowledgement that you have entered the queue will be given by whom?
Sir, I will do it online, sir. I will put it online because I am on the track and trace. I have the empty yard container. I'll put a request to the yard online. I have arrived and I'm in the queue because he is not going to acknowledge or give me acknowledge that I have arrived over there in timeline period or real time basis. So I will do registration online with the yard.
Can you do me a favor by giving me this problem statement in the form of a paper and the proposed solution which you are intending?
Sure, we will do that, sir.
Then let me bounce it internally and see what solution we can come out with.
Sure, sir. That will be interesting for the trade.
Me, I can see one use case getting formulated from this. It is one of the use case actually for me.
Let's see, sir. We'll give you a complete case laws also and give you the details as to what is the problem case also for this.
Visheshji, to what Shankar has said, I will just add to it that you, in your own presentation, you have said that the empty yards are not actually very sophisticated and they are not one of those tech-savvy people. So that's a problem. Now, most of the empty yards are also not recognized by the as a custom area, because every private player has started their own container yard, empty container yard. So there has to be some kind of a system by where if we can really, I'm not asking you to regulate it, but they're all coming to one platform, as you have said. So when we know that our empty containers are arriving at a particular empty yard, we can always log in to say that our vehicle number so and so, container number so and so, RFID, anyway you have it, that it is reaching that location at by so and so hours. So there are two things which will happen is there is a pressure on the driver that there is a commitment we have given it that so by so and so hour it will reach, and it is for the yard to receive those containers faster. Basically, even if this is mapped, then it will be a wonderful achievement.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna, for this. You all are aware that this is the biggest black box of the trade.
Yeah.
Pardon my saying so, because I have dealt with this from last 1.5 years, and there was no support which is available within the government and within the trade also. And I have to crack installing RFID readers on my own at these empty yards. Even my teams were not allowed, they were threatened, they were beaten. And then also we have installed and successfully covered around 176 empty yards. As you rightly said, this is a completely unregulated business. Shipping lines, we all are aware, are the bosses of these empty yards, and any dump yard site or any plain piece of ground where the containers can be dumped is declared as an empty yard. Myself, yourself, and anybody whosoever is sitting in this meeting may not be aware that how many empty yards do exist in the country as on date. Any empty yard can flourish anytime, any empty yard can be closed anytime. So from a regulatory standpoint, I had detailed deliberations with the Ministry of Ports and Shipping last year, how we can bring the empty yards within a regulatory framework. And the information which I receive, I'm just sharing with you, is that there is no provision under the Ports and Shipping Act to regulate the empty yards. So the regulation part of it seems to be a very, very distant dream to all of us. Again, the problem statement which you are highlighting is predominantly an issue which we are facing because of the commercial reasons which any shipping line wants to claim by way of creating an artificial demand and a supply demand mismatch. And that is the reason. But the second part of the statement which you made, the time stamping of the container which is going inside the empty yard and coming out of the empty yard, that information now we can give you basis the container number because we have installed the RFID readers on 176 empty yards. But the problem is still not yet solved. It might be possible, please pay attention to what I'm saying. There is still a gray area, and that gray area is that physically the container may be lying in the empty yard physically, but it is already booked in the ERP system of the shipping line. And shipping line, either you say or I say, will never be sharing the inventory booking system with us, or will never be integrating their inventory system with us. So the container which is moving out of the empty yard, I do not know whether it is already a booked container or it is already an empty container. But still, on a reasonable estimation basis, we can provide you that, say for example, 5,000 containers are lying in Dadri empty yard. In 5,000 out of that, maybe 1,000 containers are already blocked into the inventory system of the shipping lines, already booked, sold out. At least 4,000 containers are lying vacant in Delhi NCR region. That reasonable estimation we can always give you. Plus, regarding a particular container number, vis-a-vis whether it is lying or it has moved out of the empty yard, that information can be now fetched from the LDV system. Easy.
This leads me another information, very pertinent information. What you talked about the inventory, I would say it's an inventory management of empty containers. If we get it line wise, then it is always wise for us to find out from your system which containers are lying empty at which location, so that we can have our business booking accordingly.
सर मेरी आपसे दरख्वास्त ये होगी कि ये वाली चीज आप शिपिंग लाइन से परस्यू करें कि वो अपनी लाइन वाइज इन्वेंटरी मेरे साथ शेयर कर लें. मेरी तरफ से आपको प्रॉमिस ये है कि आई विल पुट ऑल माय रिसोर्सेज टू गेट दैट डन ASAP.
थैंक यू सो मच.
बट शिपिंग लाइंस को कन्विंस हो इस बात के लिए कि वो मेरे साथ अपना डाटा शेयर करने के लिए तैयार हो.
That will also come, sir.
Yeah.
So, but according to information, custom is already collating this information because at the time of getting out the container, they are already tagging with the RFIDs. And these containers are tracked with the system so that how many containers are in the country and how many are getting out of the country because they import with the 6 months bond container. So it's already available. If that can be integrated, we'll get to know the location also with the systems, custom system. Yeah, we open up the platform. If there's some question from the members, we can take it up. Sagar, you can see any question, hand raise, you can just call. Or Niro, you can just look up it.
Shankar, by the time the people ask, raise their hands, I can also through you, I can tell Mr. Abhishek also that if we have their RFID system integrated with the e-seal, which is coming, which is given by the few of the e-seal operators, that will also help. And since they are already integrated with the IceGate system, they can push the data into the IceGate system by integrating that e-seal number with the container RFID as well.
Thanks, Mr. Rama. We have Mr. Diwakar Nair who has some questions. Sagar, can you just unmute him?
Yes, sir, I've done.
And just check the members raising hands or who is requesting for the
Yes.
question.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Abhishek, sir. Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. This is actually our well-awaited and a dream facilitation for the trade because connecting all the stakeholders department is very much needed at this stage because integration and a lot of things are now offline, it's happening. My one small clarification is that the full success of this single platform facility will be successful when all the stakeholders, all the department onboarding in the same system. So we have seen that the port community system, which was there earlier, it was not at all functional, especially even from Chennai. We are not seeing that it is not even started because none of the shipping lines, all the stakeholders are not ready to onboarding it. They have their own standalone software, which is never integrated with this platform. So our request is, what would be the strategy for making 100% all the department and stakeholders onboarding to this platform? Our suggestion is also that before implementation, making some kind of notification or circular saying that all the stakeholders must be onboarded, their system must be integrated with ULIP, so that this will be successful. Many things are to be done like IC-Gate or shipping lines, e-delivery order, and the bill of entries downloading from the system. Many things can be connected through this ULIP. It will be a wonderful system when all the stakeholders department is connected together. That's only request from my side, sir.
I think what you're saying is 100% acceptable to me. And what you have pointed out is a very, very important point, which we all are looking at. But let me clarify, which I am aware of, I'm sharing with you. NLP Marine, you are talking about a PCS 2.0, whatever name we can call it, 1.x or NLP Marine. The system has just now been launched, and I recently had a meeting with the JSIT of the Ministry of Ports and Shipping, whereby we were talking about the credibility of the data and the sharing of more and more data on the NLP Marine. The system is working well, and he has promised me that in the days to come, the system will improve further. Our system of ULIP is already integrated with NLP Marine. The APIs are functioning well, but there are certain set of data which we are expecting it to be routed through NLP Marine. We are not getting that data as of now, but he has promised me that they are doing a lot of overall as within the system, and in next 1 month or so, the quality as well as the quantity of the data will definitely improve. So I think we need to give some time for a new system to settle down and then expect, and still if the problem persists, then definitely we need to escalate that. But the second part of your suggestion, which is with regard to the shipping lines integrating with the NLP Marine system, I think my answer will be the same, what we discussed in the last comment, that the trade, and as one of the key stakeholder of the trade, you people have to push shipping lines to do that, because by force, this kind of transactions or this kind of things cannot be imposed on anyone. To my mind, it's a completely B2B kind of a platform, whether ULIP or NLP Marine. It should not be treated as a G2B kind of a format, whereby government issues a regulation and asks the shipping lines to do that. And to my mind, because these are covered by the international conventions, the government will not be having a say, or will be having a very limited say in issuing any such directive to compel the shipping lines to share the data. So we can take up the next question.
I think so, sir. There was a lot of clarity in your presentation. And so there is limited questions, but surely if there is something more, we will come back to you, we will write to you. And as Triple FAI, we have already associated in the verge of signing the MOU also with the NTA. We have some clauses which we have requested to amend and look forward with the SSO signing for all our members to use under a single platform. Surely we'll come back to you on this, and within a day or 2 days time, we should be able to finalize and come on the board to have it integrated with the ULIP. With this, I would request Chairman Ali to take over for the final vote of thanks. Thank you, sir.
Shankar Bhai, I just want to highlight one particular thing here. Like we are based in Nagpur, as you are aware, a lot of our export containers are moving by train. And on one particular day, there are about 10 to 12 trains which are, in pipeline from ICD location to Gateway Port. And none of the entity like Concor or Railways or Port is able to define the exact position. Exact position means what was the last time the container was reported at a location. Our office has been using LDB site from a very, very long time. And I'm really thankful because of them. We are able to track and trace our container on a real-time basis. And sometime because of that, we were able to take informed decisions in informing the shipping lines to load the container on the first available vessel, or sometimes if the container are getting in late and there is a priority cargo, we have requested them to load the container on SSR basis also. So this is one application we are using extensively for our export shipments, and I am very happy with the outcome.
Thank you, Mr.
So you have more testimonies from Nagpur also now. And same testimonies we can upload on the website from various associations. We will try to pursue and take it forward, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek ji. It has been a very enlightening and informative session. Presentation was immaculate and very in-depth analysis made by you. As Triple FAI, we are encompassing more than 30 custom clearance locations, and we look forward for that partnership with NICDC, creating a safe, secured, and a very efficient supply chain mechanism to create that supply chain mechanism in the country. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all the participants. And we'll be sharing the information on real-time basis with all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.